What's good, guys? Welcome to another video. As you can see from the title of this video, today we are going to talk about the number one reason, or something like that, you lust. You cannot control it, right? We're not going to dive deep into what's bad about lust or what's good about all of that stuff, right? I have many other videos on my channel talking about this, but what I continue to see is that there's one big reason you continue to indulge in pleasure. You continue to indulge in lust. Okay? And that reason is boredom. That reason is boredom. Okay? Boredom leads to lust. Lust leads to pleasure. Pleasure leads to shame. Right? It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Just a bit of pleasure is not a problem, is it? How about another time? How about another time? How about another time? And then after 100, 200, 300 times, you notice, you realize, if you're watching this, you know, there's no power left in you. There's no inspiration left in you. You're just numb. And you're in the grip of your negative habits, and you're in a loop. Yeah, and it all starts with boredom. It all starts with you not understanding how to handle this emotion, because in the end, it's an emotion. Boredom is not neutral. Boredom is negative. It's a low vibrational emotion. And because of this, right, it's a very annoying feeling. Boredom is not comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. So your mind, right, always seeks pleasure. Your mind is always seeking to get rid of the boredom by going outside of itself. And because you're unaware of your thoughts, you're unaware of the way your mind operates, you constantly fall prey to it. Now the question becomes how to not fall prey to it, right? For that I will teach you a simple concept, a very simple concept, and a very simple teaching, right? And many Readers Masters have constantly been preaching this specific teaching. And that teaching is to focus on the self. Now, what is the self, right? The self is simply the I am. The consciousness that you are that observes these thoughts. Very simple example. If you were those thoughts, if you were the thinker of your thoughts, why would you ever think a negative thought? You wouldn't, right? You're not the thinker. You're the observer, but you think you're the thinker, and you fall prey to what your mind is saying because you're identified with it. So what we want to do is we want to focus on that still presence within ourselves. And to properly explain this, I will grab a little photo here. And what this is saying is, it's saying the tamas, it's saying the rajas, and it's saying the sattva. Now, very simply put, what that means is the tamas means your minds, right? And your mind is constantly focused on sense pleasure. The rajas, it's your point of focus, right? Are you focused on the mind? Or are you focused on the sattva, which is the self, which is the awareness? It's the still presence within yourself, right? If you're more focused on the tamas, on your mind, what's going to happen is that the rajas, right, is going to go up. It's going to go up to the wheel. Now, what does that mean? More momentum, more speed, right? You're going to be more restless, right? Because on the outside of the wheel, it's going very quick. If it's turning, it's going rapid. You're unaware. You're in this crazy thing of thoughts, and you can't see out of it. Now, once you start to identify more with the self, with the sattva, it starts to become extremely quiet inside. And you start to be under control over all these thoughts and these impulses you start to have. Because we move more to the middle if we focus on the sattva. Now, if we're in the exact middle of the wheel and the wheel is still turning, guess what? You're not moving, right? And that's what I'm explaining with this certain picture and this metaphor. It's simply focusing on the self. Because once you are there, once you are aware of the boredom kicking in, it can't do anything to you. Because you realize the boredom, and then you realize your mind saying, oh, you should do this or do that now, right? But beforehand, you actually fell prey to that thought. You were unaware. You were very much on the outside of the wheel. So it caught your attention, you didn't think, you were unconscious, and before you knew it, you fell prey to lust again, you fell prey to pleasure. You fell prey to whatever habit you did that is slowly cutting you. Death by 1,000 cuts. That's what pleasure is. It will slowly drain you over time before you're so dull. Everything is gone. It sounds very dramatic, but it's literally a death by 1,000 cuts. And if you're watching the video, you probably know. You probably know this. So I don't want to tell you again because you know. I just want to tell you what the main problem, the root problem is. And this is the root problem. You're simply unaware. You are not connected to the self. So very simple, actionable tip I want to give you guys here is to start identifying with the self as you wake up. Identify with the self. How do you do this? You can simply observe thoughts. You can simply ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Right, as a mantra. And anything that pops up in your mind, you say, well, that's not me. That's not me. Then what's left, right? It's the awareness, right? So if you continue to identify with this, this becomes a lot easier, okay?